All right, welcome everybody to the second hour of the Elias Macko Show, and I'm thrilled on how we're going to start off this second hour of the show. You know, sometimes we've got diametrically opposed groups on a certain subject, and if we were to throw out, hey, let's have both of those sides on at the same time, if we were to even broach the idea, we'd probably get the response, no thanks. We don't want to, we'll come on the show, but we don't want to come on with our adversary. We don't want to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, something very unique, something very special. I think something we should all applaud this morning. We're going to be talking about youth vaping. And we've actually got representatives, I would think, on two sides of this debate who both said, yeah, absolutely, we want to have this discussion on air. So let's welcome onto the program Flory, Doucas, co-director of the Quebec Coalition for Tobacco Control. Hi, Flory.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Morning to you. And we're also joined by Eric Gagnon, who is the Vice President of Legal and External Affairs at Imperial Tobacco Canada. I think, Eric, can you hear me? We got that?
I can hear you now.
Wonderful, Eric. Okay, great. So we've got both of you on here. And again, my thanks for both of you saying yes to this. So let's talk about the crux of this issue. Access to nicotine delivery devices by youth is how I'd put it in a nutshell. And of course, in this instance, we're talking about vaping. And we're getting a debate here. Tobacco shops are saying that the rules right now are unfair because certain spots are getting away with selling these vape devices while they can't, and vice versa. Okay, so Flory, I'm going to start with you. Okay. How would you characterize this debate and what it's really about when it comes to vaping and access to vape products?
So as you know, there was this regulation that bans flavors, vaping products, flavors that go beyond tobacco or that are flavorless. That came into force at the end of October in Quebec. And what we've seen is now vape shops transforming themselves into pretending to be regular kind of convenience stores or regular specialty stores, and they'll hide the vaping products, but that allows them to sell other products and to have minors come into the store. Mm-hmm. And they're selling all these flavor additives that people will mix your own, and they're actually promoting that. So government, the rules regarding the vaping ban, the vaping flavor ban, was pretty clear that it covered all products that were meant for vaping. But these retailers think that they're skirting the law and that this will go unpunished. And currently, I have to say, we are not seeing the type of enforcement that we would like to see, but I think that that's likely to change. I think that the minister has been quite forceful in that he won't tolerate this, and there's investigations going underway, and that's what we saw in recent newspaper stories.
Eric, every time a government passes a law or regulation, you will always find people that will try and get around it every way possible. How do you characterize what's happening here?
Well, this is what happens when you let anti-tobacco lobby groups dictate regulation. I mean, we knew that this was going to happen. We've raised the flags with the government, but because we're a tobacco company, nobody wanted to listen to us. Prohibition doesn't work, and now we're stuck with this problem. The fact of the matter is we're compliant. We've provided a list of every vape shop in Quebec that is selling illegal products, and for some reason, the government is not acting on this, right? We're talking about flavor shots. That's only one of the problems, because we know that in the back shops or behind the counter or behind closed doors, they're also selling flavored products. So, and the fact of the matter is, I'm happy that we're here with Mrs. Doucas because her organization has been screaming on rooftops that flavor needed to be banned in order to protect Quebec youth. But since the products have been sold illegally, the coalition is nowhere to be seen. Where are they right now? Kids are getting these products illegally everywhere. And so that's, if we were to work together, because we want to work with the coalition, with our information and with her network, with the Minister of Health, I think we could get this resolved in a very quick way.
So, Flory, I want you to respond to some of what Eric just had to say there. First thing though, I want you to tackle is that point that, and I kind of get where Eric's coming from, where the tobacco industry has such a negative connotation that maybe even if they have a point, we don't want to listen to them because we have such a negative history, maybe association with them. Do you think there's a point there? Do you think that it's possible that they may have a point on some issues, but we don't want to listen to them because of maybe historical things?
No, not really. I don't think that there is room for, you can't take what tobacco industry says at face value. That's what rulings have showed us. And even today, Monsieur Gagnon is kind of not being fair in portraying the situation. So one, Imperial Tobacco, before the regulation came into force, said that the products that we'd be finding on the market would be contraband, that people would be running out and buying contraband products. What we're seeing is not that. We're seeing products that have stores that are carrying federally stamped with the excise stamp. So like those people have permits. Many of them are actually manufacturers. They're vape shops, but they also had the manufacturing permit from the federal government. So these are legal entities that have found or think they have found ways of skirting the laws. We see products that have been trademarked. They're being distributed by legal enterprises, whether it's in Ontario or Quebec. So this is not the problem that Imperial Tobacco had warned everybody about, and was actually, they were screaming on rooftops with respect to contraband. So that's the one thing. Secondly, let's just go back. The statistics show us that even before the regulation, 10% of convenience stores were selling vaping products to minors, and 20% or close to 20% were selling vaping products to minors. So the problem of access of these products to minors is not new. It existed even before the regulation. And I think it's pretty rich for Imperial Tobacco's spokesperson today to be talking about their willingness to comply with regulations. We've had no problem buying VUs, the Imperial Tobacco brand, in places outside of Quebec and getting them delivered. So Imperial Tobacco was actually delivering products to retail stores and retail distributors, and these products are making their way to Quebec. Imperial Tobacco could control that. We see that their competitors, some of them are controlling that, but they haven't done much to control that.
Eric, we're with Flory, who you heard right there, Quebec Coalition for Tobacco Control, and Eric Gagnon is VP of Legal and External Affairs at Imperial Tobacco Canada. Eric, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, fully agree with Mrs. Doucas. Like every time we know that somebody is either selling illegal products or shipping products, we're taking our products out of those stores. Like the fact of the matter, though, Elias, is that today, I'll say probably 100%, if not very close to 100% of vape shops are selling illegal products, right? And if the priority was to ban flavors in order to protect kids in Quebec, our question is, where are the health groups now that these products are sold illegally? Like, if I can tell you one thing, if Imperial Tobacco was selling flavored products in Quebec right now, these health groups would be on every radio show and every TV show calling us out. For some reason, right now, and it's been documented that the coalition, Mrs. Doucas' association, is really, really close with the Minister of Health. So probably it's very difficult for her association to publicly condemn the government for not doing their job. But today, the reality is, we can talk all we want about Imperial versus, the coalition, but the fact of the matter is products are sold illegally in Quebec, and what is the government going to do about this?
Flory, can I ask you, do you feel that, this is a new law, it's a new regulation, it's simply going to take time, and at the end of the day, things will be fine? Is that why maybe you're in a wait and see period?
Part of it is the way the Tobacco Act is drafted. I think we do need to improve this situation that's new, in the sense that when we had tobacco products, the industry was more centralized. You had very few manufacturers and distributors. In terms of vaping products, that is more generalized. But you are seeing that government doesn't have the the ability to seize uncompliant products right now, and that is certainly very frustrating, and that's how we learned about it, is that the act doesn't give them those powers. It gives them the powers to seize product for investigation. So they'll only take a few samples of these uncompliant products. They're not really illegal, they're uncompliant, okay? Sometimes they could be sold in other provinces. They're perfectly compliant. They're actually compliant to the federal law. So it's very different from illegal to uncompliant. But I understand Mr. Gagnon's sense that these are products that are being sold illegally. But I do think that we do need to improve the health inspector's capacity to, one, seize all uncompliant products. I think that wording on the law to ensure that we get these flavoring additives that are purportedly, meant for something else, but really they're meant for vaping. I think there's going to be very strong actions, legal decisions that are going to dissuade people from engaging in these behaviors that'll come. But the regulation still hasn't been into effect for 6 months. And I just want to say what we're seeing in Quebec, we saw in the Maritimes, and we do see New Brunswick also beefing up its laws in terms of enforcement and seizures. And surely Quebec will have to do that too.
Eric, I'll let you have the last word here.
Yeah, but I'm blown away, Elias, to hear Mrs. Doucas justify how the government is not enforcing regulation, knowing that it's her association that has been advocating for this because it was so important to protect Quebec youth. So at the end of the day, if this was so important to protect Quebec youth, why isn't she putting the same amount of effort to saying the government enforce your law? Like, the flavors are available everywhere, but they're just, sold illegally. So for me, it's, again, more than happy, like I said, we've shared the entire list of all these sites that are selling illegally. More than happy to work with the coalition and to keep the government accountable for what they have introduced as a regulation, because we're compliant.
Out of time here, but I do note Flory shaking her head at the last comments you made. Thanks to seeing both of you this morning on the Zoom here. Thanks for joining our listeners. Really do appreciate the discussion. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elias.
Flory Doucas from the Quebec Coalition for Tobacco Control, and Eric Gagnon, VP Legal and External Affairs at Imperial Tobacco Canada.